Howdy folks, welcome back to another installment of the Antique Arms Almanac. Or if you're looking at this from Gunpost, yeah, my handle is Calgary Vetterly. Anyways, what I have here today is a Remington New Model number 4, or Remington New Line number 4 Smoot. Smoot patent firearm. This is the number 4, which is the last iteration. And they made these from like 1877, 1878, all the way up until 1888. And so this one is a 38 rimfire example. So it's 38. You get your pinky in the end. If it was 32, that wouldn't happen as easily. And as you may have noticed, it has ivory grips and a nickel finish, which is starting to wear away a bit. But overall, not in terrible condition. I'd say this gun is in fair plus, maybe in good condition, considering antiques kind of get a free boost considering the fact that they're an antique. But we'll have a look at this and we'll go through it, and then I'll talk a little bit about it. So this is a New Line number 4, as I stated. It is a single action only, not double action. Pulling that little spur does nothing. It does have a little safety notch, and that's also your loading notch, so you'd load right there. It's a 5-shot revolver. There we are. Of course, it is unloaded. And how you take, well, this goes in full cock, and the action on this worked great. And even if I pull it really slowly, she's in there. A little bit of forward and back movement, but really not all that much in my opinion, especially for this thing. So indexing and timing and lockup are pretty good for this old girl. The ivory grips, when I got them, were pretty badly stained, and it wasn't just like yellowing with age. They had some other colors on them, and so these were cleaned up for me. And there was actually a pretty bad fracture, and that's been filled with epoxy there. It looks like a there we go. Looks like a cavity that was filled, basically. I mean, it is tooth. Anyways, the other points of issue on this is, as you can see, it's rather shiny here on the cylinder pin, is where it originally was knurled. What happens with a lot of these old black powder guns is people would shoot them up in the old days a bunch, and you get black powder fouling, and that's what this minor pitting is from. The black powder fouling would gum the guns up, and then people would go to take them apart to clean them. What happens is these cylinder pins would get stuck because of all that fouling. And so you'll oftentimes, on these cheap, smaller, and suicide special type guns, is they'll have like vice marks in them. And so this one probably had that, and it was just polished off smooth. But the knurling is still on the button and the bottom part. Oh, come on, focus. There she is. So there's some nicks and age, and it's an old gun. It was made in probably the 1870s or 1880s. So let's pop this thing apart and we'll have a look inside. So you gotta push the button down and your pin comes forward. There's the flat spring in there that retains it. And these parts here are oftentimes frozen, but it's moving around in there, no problem. Hammer on half cock, out comes a cylinder. The ratchet teeth, that's what these are quite sharp and defined, no real issues there. Still a lot of nickel on the back. The front is where you see the pitting and the age, that's how she rolls. And let's just get there we go, now we can see inside. And you can see there is some throat erosion there. But overall, considering we're doing black powder, and you're going to be shooting at low pressures if you want to shoot this thing, it's not too bad. There is pitting there, I'm not going to lie. But it's relatively minor stuff. So, bore on this thing, it's kind of similar situation here. I have a bore light, but I have no idea where it went. So we're just going to use this. You can see there's rifling in there for sure. Come on. But there's pitting for sure. That's black powder for you. But I mean, you're talking about a pocket pistol that you're probably not going to shoot more than like 25 yards. So if you can hit a silhouette sized target, that's kind of what these things were intended for. There's our serial number. Oh, since we're in here, come on. Focus. There we go. Which I believe is, oh, hold on, 50, come on, 5095. There you go. So, number 4, new model Smoot. Let's look at our sight picture. You have a notched frame. Come on, will we focus on that front sight? Yeah, this is kind of awkward to do behind camera, but basically, you got a notch top strap, little V-notch here in your frame, and you just get your little front blade sight lining up in there. Cute little Remington, kind of cool. You know, overall, this one's a bit worn for sure, but it still mechanically works just fine. It's excellent in terms of its function. You got ivory grips, which is kind of a plus, and you know, the bore is not terrible. Like, it's certainly shootable. There is some pitting, there is some erosion, especially near the muzzle there, but you could put holes in paper with this thing. Let's just say that for a 38 low rim fire. So anyways, that's all she wrote. See you next time. I almost forgot. It does come with an accessory, so I'm just gonna put this back together. So we'll also cover reassembly here, I suppose. So half cock, put that in there. Cylinder pin goes in there. Function test, there we are. Oh, pin, there she goes. Oh boy, what's going on here? There she goes. Yeah, no, I had it jammed on the pin there when I put it back in. There she is. Now she's functioning great. Okay, I have a holster for it. This is an old Colt 25 automatic pistol holster. This tiny little palm-sized holster. And something I found out, I bought this holster at a gun show just for kicks, and I thought, you know what? Will it fit my little, you know, yeah, that's in there proper. Will it fit? You got a holster now. There you go. You know, so if you're doing your cowboy action shooting, no, I'm just kidding. This is pretty ridiculous, but you get the holster for free. I'm gonna throw that in.